they took it too far, right? The mullet
took it way too far. Usually the mullet adds so much. As a bald guy, I wish I could grow a mullet, but on that thing, it just looks fucking ridiculous.
It's a tube. It's a snake crocodile.
Yeah, it's a fucking fleshlight with a propeller and a mullet.
You don't want to use that. It's got the one-way teeth. One way in, no way out.
Maybe he got a little too cozy with some of these birds.
Only explanation I have in where a Fiat Uno could keep up with a Mercedes S280, okay?
It's not that I wouldn't fight Mothman. I would beat the shit out of him.
We're seasoned.
So wait, you mean to tell me they have a festival commemorating the day a man got his shit rocked by an extraterrestrial carrot?
My neighbors across the street, they are not real.
But a pyramid is the most boring shape.
Part Sasquatch, part trickster midget. What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us in the Conspiracy Kitchen, where we uncover the secret ingredients behind life's daily mysteries. I'm your head chef, Joe, and I'm accompanied by my sous chef, Josh, a.k.a. the Cryptid Killer.
Howdy.
And back by popular demand, the special on the menu today will be cryptids. Floridian cryptids, to be more exact. Now, I know we're coming to you guys later in the week. Took a little time to get this out, and there's a good reason for that. Obviously, being a cryptid episode, and we have the Cryptid Killer with us, we had to send Josh down to Florida to get first-hand experience with these cryptids that we're going to be talking about tonight. And we have to do that because we want to try to give you guys, a guide or tutorial for if you encounter one of these cryptids and it's got you cornered, because we suggest right off the bat you run, how to try to increase your odds of surviving these cryptid encounters. Now, for Josh, obviously, it isn't a problem, He's got natural skills, obviously, and he's been killing cryptids and drinking Ovaltine for years. So at this point, he has no problem with the cryptids. But for the average human being, it's going to be most likely death for the human if they encounter these cryptids one-on-one and go to hand-to-claw or hand-to-paw combat. So we send Josh down there. He gets all the information he needs to make these tutorials to increase your chances of survival. Right, Josh?
Yeah, if you personally encounter one of these creatures, run the other way. Because, first off, you're not me. Alright? You haven't been drinking Ovaltine since age 1. You don't know...
You're not as buff.
Not as buff. You don't know what it's like to essentially be One Punch Man in real life. So, run the other way if you see these things. But as we get into this more and more, I will go through each cryptid we talk about tonight and give you a run-through of what you should do. Well, if you were me. If you're run the other way, but
If you were as buff as Josh, drank as much Ovaltine as Josh, and just had the natural skills as Josh, this is what you would do to win. Other than that, your survival's slim. So, if you can escape, do that.
Yes.
Now, staying on that topic, cryptids and Josh being the Cryptid Killer, I asked several AI a question, whether it be Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini, Google AI on the Google's website. I asked them a specific question. I asked, is Josh from Conspiracy Kitchen Podcast actually a cryptid killer? And I'll give you the Grok answer. They're all similar. But Grok's answer I have right in front of me, and that's what I'll read it off to you. Grok responds with, no, Josh from the Conspiracy Kitchen Podcast is not an actual cryptid killer in any literal or serious sense. He's one of the two hosts, alongside Joe, of this lighthearted podcast that dives into conspiracy theories, paranormal topics, UFOs, ancient mysteries, and yes, cryptids like Bigfoot, the Mongolian deathworm, and West Virginian folklore creatures, to name a few. Episodes often feature humorous banter with Josh playfully positioning himself as a tough guy who could hypothetically take on these mythical beasts in a fight. And it goes on like this about the same. Josh, what is your response to AI basically calling you a liar right to our faces?
Well, first off, if AI was a cryptid, I would unplug that sumbitch real quick. AI, I've said it before, I'll say it again, is bullshit. I hate AI. It's nonsense. It has no soul, therefore its opinion does not matter. I know
Exactly.
what I'm about.
I know.
So,
I know. I have experience with this. I just want to say on the record that AI right there is wrong. It is 100% wrong. It just assumes Josh doesn't fight cryptids because it thinks, whatever. He's not that buff. He thinks he's a quote-unquote tough guy. But I'm telling you right now, Josh is buff as shit. He can take these cryptids. So AI is wrong with this. But at the end of the day, I also kind of find it cool or awesome, whatever you want to say. If you go on any AI, whether it be at Grok or Gemini or all them, and you just ask who we are, it literally will tell you everything you need to know about our podcast. You can ask what the Conspiracy Kitchen podcast is. It'll give you a nice rundown of it. You can ask, who's Joe from the Conspiracy Kitchen podcast? It'll tell you about me, it'll tell you about Josh. It's kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool that it actually knows who we are, except for the fact that it thinks Josh isn't actually a cryptid killer. It thinks it's just part of the lore of our show, but that's not the case. It's not the case at all.
I was going to say, it's real sweet that AI knows who we are right up until it's wrong. Fuck AI.
Now, if you ask AI about Conspiracy Kitchen podcast and it doesn't listen to the podcast part at all and it just says Conspiracy Kitchen, you'll also get a different website, which is bullshit, about, it's a conspiracykitchen.com or something, to tell you, the website's about finding the ingredients to make your own conspiracy up. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit website. We're going to buy them soon, just so you know, at some point. But if it does do that, just say, no, I mean the podcast. And I'm telling you guys, it'll tell you about us. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty friggin' cool.
But yeah, so tonight we were going to get into, after Josh settles down a little bit about the lies from AI, the Floridian Cryptids. And Florida itself, the state. I mean, some of the residents could just be cryptids themselves, couldn't they?
Yeah, I actually want to get into that a little before we get into the cryptid. Because our friends in other countries may not be familiar with what Florida's all about. Now, Florida is an anomaly in itself. The things you could encounter there, not cryptid related, is pretty incredible. Now, I have here, Joe, a few headlines from Florida newspapers that I'd like to read for people, just so they get a taste of what they can expect in Florida. Guy tries to buy toy poodles, but instead gets fluffy, steroid-pumped giant ferrets.
How is this?
That's a headline. Oh, here's a fun one from 2020. Florida man, perhaps unfamiliar with cold weather, sets house on fire to keep warm. It's just this is the famous one. This is one I've seen for years before even looking into this. Florida man charged with assault with a deadly weapon after throwing alligator through Wendy's drive-through window.
Yes.
Just it's so full of violence in the most ridiculous way possible. Man knocks out deputy with Bible. Okay. So I've been to Florida many times. I just came back, as Joe was saying. You see this on the sidewalk. Just insane people. Constantly. And I'm not trying to shit talk, but I'm just pointing out facts. Florida is an anomaly. I don't know what causes it. I don't know what it is. I mean, people who go there and just go to, like, Disney, they'll say, oh, you're wrong, I've never seen that there. Because you're in the Disney bubble. Once you leave that, it's like hell on earth.
Wow.
There's no describing it. There's alligators everywhere. I don't know.
Speaking of alligators, I guess I could throw this story in here while we're talking about Florida. Well, first of all, Florida is America's basement. It's all the way in the south, right? It's the most southern part of the continental 48 states, not including Hawaii. It is hot most of the time, right? Especially in the summer. Humid, because it's surrounded by water on three sides. It's a little peninsula at the bottom. It has a shit ton of bugs everywhere. And it has alligators. I mean, alligators and freaking basically dinosaurs, right? So, I mean, it's a nice place. and then not a nice place at the same time. You know what I mean? So I had a coworker who worked with me, and he decided to move to Florida, and he got a job down there working on whatever equipment that was down there. And he said he crawled underneath a tractor or something he was repairing for someone, and he heard a noise. And he looked over, and there was an alligator laying underneath this tractor with them, and it ended up chasing him into the locker room in like the shop he was in, and he had to beat it with a broom to get it away from him. That's Florida, people. That's Florida in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to move down there because it's nice and warm and I'm going to get myself a nice in-ground pool, it's going to turn into a swamp full of alligators in about a week. That's another common occurrence. You go outside for a dip and your pool's full of alligators. Like, just watch Cops, and the episode takes place in Florida. 99% of the time, the call is alligator-related.
Or even On Patrol Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, to follow because that's, I don't know if they can get it in other countries, to be honest. It's on Reels. But, they follow them live. Different departments, and I believe there's a Florida county they re-added. I think it was taken away, but they re-added it. And, yeah, it's fucking... There's a 911, there's an alligator in my trash can. Like, they come out, and they have to fucking try to cover it up so it doesn't try to bite anyone and drag it the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I mean, you have that, but then you also have these people keeping them as pets in, like, like one-story houses with no basement. They just keep it in a back room and throw meat through the door, so it just gets bigger and bigger. And then I guess they're saving it for if they get evicted and the cops come, they just let it loose on them, but yeah, goddamn.
My dad, years ago, man, when I was a kid, he had a coworker named Gator, nicknamed Gator, because apparently he had 2 gators here in New Jersey in his basement. And he never knew what happened to that guy, because just one day he never showed up for work anymore.
What
they said
happened
he
to
quit.
Gator?
So, yeah, and his nickname was Gator, yeah. And he had 2 apparently, allegedly, had 2 alligators in his basement, but one day he just stopped showing up to work. He said he quit. You don't think so?
Not a feeding gone wrong. No, he just quit. I'm convinced that anybody who has reptiles as pets will die by those animals at some point. I have a friend from work who... Turtles can be vicious, too. Little snapping assholes. But I have a friend from work who... She breeds giant snakes, and she's like, oh, I take them to fairs to show kids. And I'm like, that's not safe.
Like a boa? Like a constrictors?
Yeah, like huge fucking snakes. And she drives around with them like in fucking plastic cases in her car. And I'm like, what happens if the lid comes loose while you're on the freeway and that thing just gets you in the neck? You're going over.
Or just constricts you, yeah. It's the only thing
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's hugging me. No, it's too tight, too tight, too tight. All right.
And you're done. Yep.
That's it. But, yeah, so... That's Florida in a nutshell. I mean, I went for the first time when I was a very small child, and the first story I was told was, don't go for a walk on your own because the kid down the street did that and got eaten by a gator in his front yard. So, yeah, it's very gator heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is 100%. So you were down there, right? And you went hand-to-hand combat with some of these. You got physical with them. And did you get wounded at all in any of these fights while you were in Florida? No. Okay. That was a quick no.
No. My back hurts a little from the flight because I flew economy, but that's about it.
Yeah, we couldn't get you the first class ticket yet. When we get bigger, we'll get you the first class for that.
And you know what? I booked an aisle seat. And the bullshit thing is if your flight gets delayed, your seat changes. So then you get on the next flight and you're stuck in the middle of 2 giant people.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm back now.
So, what's the first cryptid you came in contact with down there?
So, we were discussing this one right before we started recording. The skunk ape.
Yes.
And the other one.
Yeah, the one I wanted to talk about, I guess we could do after the skunk ape. But the purists, Josh, will tell you they're two different. It's this, the one word I'm going to talk about is the kin. Is like a brother or son or something, like or I don't know, some kind of relative to the skunk ape, but not quite the skunk ape.
Yeah, the skunk ape's shitty son. But for those who don't know what a skunk ape is, say it like it's a household name. Skunk ape is the name given to essentially a Bigfoot in Florida. It's described as being 7 feet tall, reddish brown hair, and smells like absolute shit. Thus the name skunk ape. The stories of this thing go back to the 1800s. For instance, in 1818, a local newspaper reported a large man-sized monkey breaking into food stores and stalking fishermen on the shoreline. And
oh boy,
yeah, and then it just stretches out. 1929, we got one. Witnesses reported a large ape-like creature entering a construction site where a giant bat tower was in the Florida Keys, and just grabbing it and violently shaking it so all the bats would fly away. Now, I don't know if that's ape behavior or maybe,
skunk.
That too. Skunk ape. But yeah, that's what a skunk ape is. It's a Bigfoot that smells like garbage. And Floridians just love it.
It's a big thing down there, huh?
Yeah.
Skunk ape.
Now this is where we go in different directions, because in my research the skunk ape has been around up until the 70s, but then that could also be your fella.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So this would be either a son or some kind of close relative, and there's multiple ones, but it's the Barden Booger. First seen in 1940. You know what I mean? So he's got the Bigfoot folklore too, but he's not the skunk ape. The purists will tell you he's completely separate. And he comes from a town called Barden. It's in Putnam County, Florida. It's got a population of about 424 and probably another 424 alligators. Just to put into perspective here. It's in the pines. Again, it's a swampy pine area. It's similar to where the Jersey Devil lives in New Jersey. It's got the piney areas. So this sorry. This the first time this thing was seen, 1940, was a woman on horseback spotted it. She thought it was a tall man in a raincoat until she realized the coat was actually a fur, and she was like, "Oh shit, this is like a giant gorilla." Kind of similar to Bigfoot or something, but I guess as it goes on, they realize it's not the skunk ape, it's not Bigfoot, because he does have some of his own quirky differences from these type of cryptids. That was at the just outside the Etonia Baptist Church the first time they seen it. So this thing, again, it's about 7 foot tall. He's got that 7 foot tall bloodline going on from the other ones. Walks on 2 legs, broad-shouldered ape-like. So Bigfoot, kind of a Florida cousin of Bigfoot. He's got shaggy brown fur, dark brown probably. Usually matted and mangy nonsense. Caveman-esque face, prominent, the prominent brow ridge from like a caveman. The neck, of course, the Bigfoots, they don't have necks for some reason. It's just one piece, right to the body. And he smells really bad. Again, another one that smells terribly bad. Now, the thing that's a little different about this guy, for starters, he carries a lantern sometimes. Now, I don't know where he gets it from. I don't know where he got it from. I don't know if the skunk ape isn't able to carry a lantern, but he's been seen with lanterns, just to let you know. So, we got the first sighting in the 1940s, the woman seen him on horseback. Then we go into the 50s. This is when they start really starting to see him. He raids farms in the areas, and they call them monkey men. They see these monkey men, again, 7 foot tall monkey men, they call them, lurking near homes, raiding farms, and 2 old guys at Bud's grocery. They claimed they saw him while looking out the window at the grocery store, stealing laundry off someone's clothesline and running off into the woods. So this was happening in the 50s and 60s. People, just hairy monkeys stealing clothes, raiding farms, taking food, and running off. In the 1970s, this is where he gets a little bit more pranky, if you will. He starts doing things that kind of I would not be appreciative of. So in the 1970s, we have a family saying that they saw a 7-foot-tall beast with fur, probably the Barden booger, hurling feces at their house, and they woke the next morning with turds all over their roof. So there's that. There's turds all over the roof. They look up and they see these big clobs of turds, like, kind of like unholy hail, if you will, I guess you could say, right? Just sitting all over the roof. And again, apparently it breaks in the houses, it raids the refrigerators, it steals your clothes off the clothesline. And in the 1970s, towards the end, a man claims that he saw it stealing clothes, decided to get his gun, and he chased it off into the pines. While chasing it, he faints from the horrific smell that it's giving off, and it gets away, and he doesn't see it after that again. This is in the 1970s. So I'm guessing he does have if he carries enough fecal to hurl it around, I guess he does smell pretty bad.
Jesus Christ.
And in 1981, you had the media frenzy about him. He goes viral, basically through news articles. There's a claim that the guy remains anonymous, though. The booger grabbed his car while he was out doing whatever he was doing, parked in the woods, and he tried to drive off. It was smearing poop on his windows and hanging onto the running board. I guess it was like a pickup truck or an SUV, and banging on the door and smearing the poop for about a half mile, and then it just vanished off the side of his car and ran off into the woods. So we had that in 81, and that sparked a bunch of news articles and stuff of the booger. Now, the Barden booger, I guess I should have mentioned, the name come from Barden being the town, and booger was slang for boogeyman, and that's where that name came to be. So that's where he came from. Now, we also had he appeared at some festival in 2006, apparently, throwing poop. Some people claim that it might have been a prank by the performing festival, but man, to throw poop, I mean...
The fuck does he think he is, G.G. Allen? Come your shit down.
Dude, I mean, you're taking a little... I mean, I would be pissed I found it was just a prank by some scumbag there, hurling feces into the crowd in 2007 into a,
Jesus Christ.
And then in 2016, he's, kind of sporadically seen everywhere. People are posting on X about him. To recently, Twitter, I guess, back then to recently. I mean, he's been all over X. There's actually, the pictures I've seen are the blurriest fucking pieces of shit I've ever seen. For some reason, I guess, I don't know, does he have some kind of cloaking device that makes pictures blurry? The same thing with with Bigfoot, right? Shit. Every time you get a picture of them, it's blurry as shit. Right, but yeah, that's the sightings. Most of the main sightings, I guess you could see. But yeah, the difference between him, people try to clump him together, like clump him together with skunk ape is there's a big difference. He carries a lantern. One of the biggest details. Every time you see him, every tale they talk about, they mention a glowing orb near its hand, hand, whatever they call him. It lights the pines around him, but then when he runs off, it just vanishes into fucking wherever. You can't follow the trail of the light even through these dark woods. And then I guess the stench does kind of take you out and knock you out, and you can't follow him anymore. Now, there's other theories of saying that the reason he gets away so fast, and you see and people think it's a lantern he's holding, is actually because he turns into a ball of light because he's interdimensional, like the Bigfoots are. So maybe he stashes all this fecal in the other dimension, right? And then when he wants to, he can reach into the other dimension and start hurling the feces from it onto your house or your car and smear it everywhere.
He's a shit hoarder from another dimension.
He's a shit hoarder. He could be a shit hoarder. So, yeah, that's the thing. that's the booger in a nutshell. He's related to the skunk ape, but he's more of a dickhead, right? I don't know if the skunk ape throws feces everywhere. He doesn't pelt poop around like this.
Just smells like it. But there was the one thing I read about him from the 70s. There was 2 detectives that were chasing an ape-like creature through a field and shooting at it. And then, I guess it ran through some brush, and then when they went through, all they could find was some hair hanging off of like a barbed wire fence. Yeah. And then they reported that, and then that started like a frenzy, and people formed posses to like try and find this thing, which they never did. But then in 77, there was a failed... This made me fucking die. In 77, there was a failed-to-pass bill that was proposed to the Florida state legislature to make it illegal to take, possess, harm, or molest anthropoids or humanoid animals. Only in Florida.
Only in Florida.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the skeptics for the booger, they believe the lights they're seeing is the swamp gas in the area, because it's very swampy around there too. Same thing with the Pine Barrens. There's a lot of cranberry bogs in that area, so it's kind of similar. The swamp gas they're saying is the lighting. Escaped pets they think are the sightings, and teenagers are the poop pelting pranksters, is what they're trying to say. Even I don't know. It takes so many different things to try to say it's one thing. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then there's hundreds and hundreds of reported sightings archived. Even the police, like calling 911 and stuff about this. And all of the reports are so consistent. The height, what it looks like and everything else, which makes you kind of lean towards, well, what are they seeing? Is it, I don't know if it's a 7-foot-tall person running around in a fur doing this, and it's pretty tall. What could they be seeing? Why are the reports so consistent across different areas of people that don't even know each other?
Well, I was going to say it's just a hairy homeless guy carrying a lantern.
But that much fecal matter?
They got to go somewhere.
That's a lot of... Now, so we got the skunk ape, and, what did you do when you encountered it? You confronted the skunk ape. Am I right?
I came across him.
Yeah. Was he hurling feces?
No, he was actually quite docile at the moment. Okay. But I decided that I was going to lure him. So I yelled at him. Skunk ape? I yelled at him. And I got him to chase me after yelling obscenities at him. And then I ran through a car wash. Now, this was my plan. I ran through a car wash, and then once he entered behind me, I had them shut the doors and turn it on to give him the cleaning of a lifetime. And my plan was, when he came out through the dryer, if he was violent, I was just going to shoot him. But if he was docile and calm, I was going to clean him up and ingratiate him into society like Encino Man. He was a little peeved, so I shot him.
And he died? He died from this?
No, see, that's the thing. He was pretty buff himself. So I'm sorry to say, this one he did get away because he is quick. I'll find him. No, I'll find him again. But right now, I'm happy to say he smells okay.
Okay.
He's wounded, but he smells pine sol fresh.
So now I'm going to put you on the spot. You didn't know. You didn't realize he had this the booger kin with him, the hurl feces. I'm going to put you on the spot. What are you doing right now? If you did that and you turn around and you had the feces hurling brother standing there, and he was mad. He saw what you did to his brother or his father or whatever, and he's ready to take you out.
Well, let me put it to you like this. Now, the shit he's hurling, presumably from himself, is after meals of, what's he eating? Bugs and leaves. There's not much to it. No. Now, an Ovaltine crap, that's got some weight to it. So I'm going to give him back his own medicine and that's gonna knock his ass out cold.
Okay, you're not afraid of turning around and seeing the booger with a big pile of feces in his hand, ready to throw it.
I ain't afraid of nothing. I'm ready to go.
Makes sense.
But yeah. So I'll find him again eventually, but right now he's wounded and smells okay.
He smells okay. Do you think he's back? How long do you think he's gonna smell okay for, though? Probably not long.
Depends. If he goes to hang out with his nephew, he's gonna get covered in shit almost immediately. Yeah. Maybe a day.
So what's the next cryptid you encountered?
This one goes back a ways. This one's called the Wampus Cat.
Oh, Wampus.
Now, the Wampus Cat is, well, it's a large cat with glowing eyes and 6 legs. And 6 legs, yeah, it's huge. And it's got claws capable of just tearing apart livestock. But there is some deep-rooted lore in Cherokee, folklore. As the story goes, gather around, kids, it's story time. There was a beautiful Cherokee woman in the tribe, and all the men would go out on their hunting trips, and the women were not allowed to go. It was forbidden. And the men would go out, and she decided she was going to follow one day. And in the middle of the night, when the men were sitting around the campfire telling their stories that the women weren't allowed to know about, and the medicine man practicing his magic, they caught her listening in, and he decided he was going to punish her by turning her into a cat, the same kind of pelt that she was clinging onto hiding behind the rock. She was turned into a giant cat with 6 legs and glowing eyes. And these stories, they go on up into the 20s, from farmers claiming to see a giant cat ripping apart their livestock, and hunters chasing down this cat, never catching it, saying it's too fast because it's got 6 legs. Go figure.
I thought that would slow it down.
You'd think, but apparently it helped. But as the legend goes, all it's trying to do is make its way back to its body so it could be a person once again. Spooky. So I blew this thing up. Now, my plan was, it's just trying to get back to his body. That's all it is. So I found a mannequin in a store window. Got it for a steal, about $14.
That's it.
Then it's not bad. Took it out to a field, loaded it up with C4. I got a guy. And then I waited. I waited in the brush for 3 days and 3 nights until this thing appeared, thinking that was its body. So it was going to get back to where it was before. And when it got in close enough, boom. And that thing just exploded in so many directions.
So we're not in hand-to-hand combat yet.
No, see, it's Florida. You gotta get a little creative with it. Hand-to-hand combat is... I saved that for later.
Okay, I got you. Nothing beats the 2 wetsuits with the Mongolian deathworm.
Yeah, you needed 2, because the acid ate through the first one.
Yeah, I got it. Yep.
Yeah.
So that was that one. That was your second... it was your first kill. Second casualty of the trip so far, right?
Yeah, the first one, he's a little peeved.
You'll be back for him.
I'll be back. We're going to Disney soon, so maybe I'll take a day trip. But, yeah. So another one I've read about before going down there, Two-Toed Tom.
Oh,
now,
boy.
We've talked about gators quite a bit. Now, this is the biggest one they got. It's more than 20 feet long. This fucking thing. It's pretty big. It's fucking huge.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it, back a ways the story starts. It terrorized local areas and was responsible for fatally attacking livestock and people. jaws were powerful enough to easily tear large prey to pieces, and its tail was able to flip over a full-grown horse in one lash. It was given the nickname Two-Toed Tom because all but two toes were lost in a steel trap. Now, the earliest encounter was, again, always in the 20s. A lot of these happened in the 20s. Florida had a rough 10 years in the 20s. But while writing a book, this guy, Carl Kramer, I was told by the locals about a vicious giant alligator. And a large bounty was put on him, and many of the townspeople hunted him with guns and even dynamite, but couldn't kill him because he's fucking huge. Well. Now this story's... See, I read this one. It's kind of heartbreaking, this one, but I'm going to tell it anyway.
No.
There was a farmer. He had 40 acres of land. And he was Pap Haynes. He found one of his mules torn apart and a trail, leading down to a pond, and you could tell it was him because there was two toes on the trail. So him and his sons filled 15 buckets full of dynamite and just started tossing them into the pond because they're like, well, he's in there, we're just gonna fucking kill him. So they're just throwing them all into the pond, thinking nothing of it. But then they hear a scream at another pond nearby, and they go running, and laying on the ground is Pap Haynes' 12-year-old granddaughter, who had come out to see what all the commotion was, but got torn apart by the alligator that was actually in that pond instead.
So they just fucked it all up.
They fucked it all up. They were throwing dynamite in an empty fucking pond.
And the first problem is, don't trust Floridians with dynamite to begin with.
They all have it, too, which is odd. Trip over dynamite walking down the street. But, yeah, so as the story goes, Haynes would hunt the alligator for the rest of his life, but ultimately died unfulfilled. He didn't get him. But according to the story, the alligator crossed over into Alabama, but came back years later and continued attacking people. And, yeah, so I was down there fishing. I like to fish.
Okay.
And I saw this beast walking through the brush near a pond, and I decided I was going to creep up on him like the crocodile hunter.
Okay.
And I jumped on his back with a lasso and wrapped it around his snout so he couldn't bite me. Then I rode him around like Putin on a grizzly bear. And let's just say, I have him stashed somewhere.
You conquered him and made him your pet.
It's possible.
It's possible.
I can't confirm or deny, but
Yeah, I understand.
my meat budget has gone up quite a bit.
Why? What was your plan with keeping him?
It's yet to be seen. It's yet to be seen.
Okay, you don't want to release the
Not yet.
the reason yet. That's fine.
Sometimes it's just fun to have something to ride on. But anywho.
So you just manhandled this thing back to New Jersey?
I did. TSA was pretty nonplussed about me lugging in an alligator and asking them to put it in storage.
How much Ovaltine did you need to drink to have the strength to handle this 20-foot long alligator?
So I started putting Ovaltine in a keg, and I was out fishing, and I had the keg with me. So I downed about half of that.
Oh, shit.
And I was good to go.
You must have been glowing.
I was glowing. He saw me coming, so it was quite a battle. But, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like one of our top fans, Hammers, just to bring him up for a minute. I think he's going to be disappointed that the skunk ape got away without being captured and or decimated. You know what I mean?
Look.
Hopefully he understands.
Look, Hammers. Sometimes in this line of work, it's not a one-day thing, okay? You gotta stretch it out. You don't want your adventure to end in one day. That's boring. You gotta stretch it out over time.
Sometimes Josh likes to play with his food.
Yeah, gotta give yourself something to look forward to.
I get it now.
Yeah. See, I could have killed him right then and there, but I didn't. That was a choice I made.
I just wanted to clear that up for him.
Yeah. Hammers, we love you.
We do.
Yeah. And then, this one I didn't see, but it's a story I heard about, because every fisherman will tell you this story even when you don't ask them to. That's the story of old Hitler. Now, I know he just did 2 back-to-back episodes on the guy.
Yes, and that we're accused of being Nazi sympathizers and all that other nonsense, even though we basically talk shit about it the whole time. But yes, we're going to bring up old Hitler, huh?
Old Hitler. Now, old Hitler is a legendary shark. He's a great hammerhead, which is the biggest hammerhead there can be. I think there's 5 different species of hammerhead shark. Now the great hammerhead is the biggest. So, this was in the Tampa Bay area. The sighting started back in the 40s. Fishermen described it as a 20-foot long hammerhead shark, which isn't crazy because I've actually seen videos. The biggest one I've seen, it was 19 feet long. So this is definitely not outside the realm of possibility. Yeah, so 20 to 25 feet long. Its head was as wide as a pickup truck.
Oh, wow.
Which is Jesus. And then I love that. I don't know why. I love sharks. I don't know why. And then it's got a scar.
My youngest son does, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, he knows every single shark there is.
Ah, sharks are fucking...
He's 3 years old, dude. Obviously, the great white's his favorite. That's all. I asked him, what's your favorite shark? The great white. But he loves tiger sharks, reef sharks, nurse sharks, some... I don't remember half the ones he says, hammerhead sharks. He enlists like 50 of them.
There's so many fucking different species of sharks.
Yeah.
This one was called Old Hitler. 1, because they found him in the 40s, and 2, it has a scar on its head resembling a swastika.
Oh.
That's pretty fucking insane. But, yeah, during World War II, they had ships out on the coast, and they would spot these things all over, and they mistook them for German U-boats because of how massive they were. But, yeah, that old Hitler was... Again, ask any fucking fisherman in Florida. They're all over the place. And they're like, oh, they all got an old Hitler story. Oh, I saw him last week. I was out fishing and I saw the big swastika come up. I was like, all right, well... I was just asking you where the best seafood around here was, but you told me that instead.
It's a possibility, too, the swastika and stuff. Remember the episode we did for Shark Week? Mm-hmm. My theory about the Germans using sharks to instill fear on the civilians in New Jersey and that to try to cut production and economic growth. They could have done the same thing during World War II. You know, they were pretty smart. They could have done anything with those U-boats down there. And they carved the swastikas in it to let them know who sent the sharks. Yeah. It's possible.
It's entirely possible. I mean, they got time travel. They could do that, too.
Yeah.
There's another one you were talking about before.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the muck monster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the muck monster. He's a newer cryptid, though. He's like a modern cryptid. He didn't get seen till 2009. But he's apparently shaped like a log. It's 10 feet long. Just a log shape. 10 feet long, sleek. And they believe it's probably because he's covered in algae or some kind of sea slime or something. No clear head, because apparently it's only been seen like a handful of times with only one big encounter in 2009 when he was first named and recognized. So he had no head, eyes, limbs, just a vague freaking log just laying there, I guess, motionless because they mistaken him for some kind of trash or something. So he's fast and fluid, apparently, capable of sudden extreme bursts of speeds, and he lives in Lake Worth Lagoon. That's down in Florida, down there in I forgot exactly where that was.
It's Palm Beach.
Riviera Beach or something. Palm Beach, Florida, yeah. It's an intercoastal waterway, though. It's off. It's not on the ocean side. It's inside there. So you get a mix of salt and fresh water in the area. And that area is about 12 feet deep, and it's muddy, kind of, not very clear water. So it's hard to spot anything in this water. So the big break that happened, I guess, it's not a cryptid that's going to attack anyone. It's more of a, I need to get the fuck out of here, sneaky guy. He doesn't want to be seen. So it was in Lake Worth, a lagoon, near wherever that was, that Riviera Beach. A group of divers, part of a cleanup crew, were scouring the lagoon for trash and debris on the floor. They spotted what they thought was a waterlogged tree trunk, about 8 feet long, half buried in the muck. Thinking, it was trash and everything else. They tied a rope around it to yank it, but the log, they thought, took off and moved. It thrashed, broke free of the rope, and shot down into the depths of this waterway, leaving a cloud of silt, and the divers were left extremely confused. They have no idea. After this, the story hit local outlets, like the Palm Beach Post. Divers were swearing it wasn't a manatee because it was too fast for that. It wasn't an alligator because it didn't have any legs or head or anything like that. It was way too big to be a fish. The cryptozoology blogs dubbed it the muck monster. That's where the name came from, and the name stuck. There's just been some small sightings here and there. Sporadic reports trickle in here and there about boaters seeing something big, like a log that takes off in the waters. All the way up until 2024. So, this thing, again, like I said, he's not going to attack anyone. He's just a crazy, weird little, I guess, what would you say, what would you call him? He's not really an attacker or anything. He just wants privacy, right? He just wants to be left alone.
Docile creature.
He's a docile, wants to be left alone. Never to be freaking bothered with. He's like a low-budget Loch Ness Monster without the flippers in the head. Just something scary, eerie, but will not hurt you in this lagoon. Lake Worth Lagoon. Yeah.
The muck monster became very lucrative for the city, by the way, because once they mentioned that in the papers, it took off. And the one who mentioned it, he made T-shirts for his nonprofit, and then a local tiki bar served the Muck Monster special.
Yeah, and it's a tourist attraction, freaking stuff like that.
Yeah, the mayor made it a official citizen of Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Fuckster. That's the only place in the world you could have a Muck Monster as a citizen is Florida. Yeah. So those are the main ones I looked into. I have some honorable mentions. We have the skinny gargoyle. Described as having a slender human-like body with large bat wings and claws, and first reported back in 2010. Now, my thoughts on this one, because it also has sightings going through Appalachia. Could this be one of the Appalachian vampires?
Maybe. It's actually a possibility, yeah, because the Appalachians, close by, run down there.
Yeah, it's very close. Then there's the Florida bear cat, which described as having a black, white striped coat, long claws, and yellow eyes. Resembles a binturong, which I looked it up. It's a cute little thing, and it's harmless. It does absolutely nothing to you. And then the last one I read about was the St. John's River Monster, which is Florida's own little Loch Ness Monster, known as Johnny by the locals because he resides in the Johns River, of course. And then people say he's 90 feet long with a tapered neck from the head of the body. It appeared to be about 7 feet across, the widest part of the back. The color of the creature was a dirty brown, somebody said. Now, there's this one cryptozoologist, an amateur one, I should say, named Simon Smith, who talked about him and got a little peeved. It's like, well, first off, Johnny is a girl, and if people knew marine biology, they would know that. He actually put that in like a report. It's like, why are you being a dick about a sea monster? Fucking Florida, man.
Well, you didn't bring up the There's one last one. There's a Snolligoster. I guess you could. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a propeller-tailed swamp slaughter, really. If you think. So this thing, it's a crocodile snake type esque thing that's 20 feet long. You hear about this thing?
No, tell me about it.
All right, so it's got a serpentine body, but it is covered in fur for some reason. A snake crocodile with fur on it. So basically like a croc wearing a wig or something like that. It has no legs, just a limbless amphibious tube of muscle with a croc head. That's how I see this thing. It has massive jaws lined with backward curving teeth for one-way trips. Like, you can't come out. You know what I'm talking about? And it's got beady eyes and the coarse hair. So it's got a dorsal spike on it. 3 to 5 foot curved horn protruding from its back that's razor sharp. It's like, kind of like a meat hook, I guess you can call it. And then and the craziest part of it, the propeller tail. It has a fan-like rotor of bone or, like, I guess cartilage or something that spins like a boat's outboard motor propeller.
What the
to torpedo it through the water or mud. It doubles as a drill for burrowing pits that it stashes its victims in as well. And a blender for chopping up its prey. Yeah, so this thing is pretty fucking tough. It moves like a snake if it's not in the water. And then kind of goes in the water and starts its little tail up, leaves little whirlpools, and takes off. Apparently it smells like swamp rot. People have said it is. This thing was seen in the 90s. It's when it started. It hasn't been seen recently. It's been passed down, well, the last time I was seen, I should say, is 90s. Mostly in the 17 and 18s. Native Americans were the first ones to talk about it. It's by the Okeechobee Reserve area in central Florida. The Native Americans said the German settlers imported this thing into the area for some reason. So it eats basically anything made of meat, but for some reason it likes humans the best. It will go out of its way to eat humans before eating anything else. Then it drills a mud pit with its tail and puts them in there and uses its tail as a blender while they're in the hole. So it is kind of graphic. So this thing is something that Josh needed to take care of. If you haven't seen it, you have to go back down there. They don't travel in packs, just by itself. Just to let you know.
Just by itself.
So just by itself, no packs at all. So apparently it actually has something to do with slavery as well. For some reason, yeah. So apparently, like, the first time it was seen, I have it written down somewhere. There was back in 1883, someone was out hunting a runaway slave in Florida, in the mid 1800s. They said 1883 or something. Then I think that's a little too late though. Through the swamps near Lake Okeechobee, they found the guy impaled by this thing. This is the first time it was seen. Then it got away, and it revealed itself as the that dorsal spike that's what stabbed him. Eldridge, which is the guy trying to chase him, opted not to kill the guy because he did it apparently a piece of shit. Said it was a public servant for getting evildoers. It's a fucking whole thing down there. Because Florida's there is some scumbags down there. Because this guy was hiding in the wild, so this thing stabbed him to get away. Because they're racist down there. That's the first time it was seen. And apparently it was in during the Civil War. It helped fight during the Civil War too. They sent it off. Somehow, I guess, lured it to go attack other people, to chop them up into little pieces with its rotating tail. But yeah, it's this freaking snake crocodile, no legs, and it needs to be taken care of, Josh, because it's also racist, I guess. Just like that scumbag up there. What are you going to do with this thing? It's out there. It purposely wants to kill humans over anything else. It blends them up with its tail, with its propeller tail, and basically turns them into a Slurpee and sucks them up out of the little hole it dug with its tail in the pits. So there's a lot of details about how it kills its predator or prey and stuff Doesn't it seem like this could be a real thing? It's passed down from Native Americans who believe the Germans brought it over, the German settlers brought it over during the time. What are you going to do about this thing? You got to go do something.
I got to do something. I'm looking at a picture of it, and it looks badass right up until I see the hair, and now it just looks like a fucking snake beast with a mullet.
Yes, I'm saying. So it's like a crocodile wearing a wig, right? Or a mullet.
I don't. You know what? I'm gonna have to think on this one because I gotta come up with a plan of attack. Yeah, I'll definitely come up with something.
So apparently, this thing was used to scare people from running away, like slaves. Was the big? They're trying to say that's like where this tale started, but it originally started from Native American lore. So I can see maybe they took that. But the Native Americans were onto something, I guess, and they blame the Germans. Like, obviously, because the Germans, they get blamed for a lot of things, don't they?
Well, do they?
Yeah, I mean, they bring it on themselves a lot.
Yeah. Well, they didn't help themselves in the 40s, but it's neither here nor there.
But that thing is probably my favorite of them all, and I was going to throw that at you to see if you can come up with a way to kill it. It's got you cornered, Josh, but you're going to have to think on it.
I'm going to have to think on it. I have some thoughts, but I'm going to have to work it out, and maybe we'll start the next episode with my retort.
Okay. How would you pronounce that? I would say the Snolligoster.
Snolligoster, yeah.
The Florida's propeller-tailed swamp slaughterer.
Dude, it looks so sweet up until the fucking mullet.
The mullet? Why would they add that, right? Why would they add the fucking mullet to its... Man...
Dude, I'll never understand that.
They took it too far, right? The mullet
took it way too far. Usually the mullet adds so much. As a bald guy, I wish I could grow a mullet, but on that thing, it just looks fucking ridiculous.
It's a tube. It's a snake crocodile.
Yeah, it's a fucking fleshlight with a propeller and a mullet.
Oh. You don't want to use that. That's got the one-way teeth. One way in, no way out.
But, yeah, so cryptids, man. You guys wanted them.
So, you're confident you can take this thing, though?
Oh, I definitely can. I just gotta... Okay. I come my plan of attack and I'll execute.
Okay. Yeah, you can't go in blind, right? You have to have a... That's a smart thing to do.
Yeah. The only one you have to go in blind with would be the Mothman, because it could read your thoughts. So if you go in with a plan, it already knows it.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. So Cryptid's back. Yeah, we were getting some comments and messages about doing. We haven't done Cryptids in a while, right? It's been a little bit, at least.
It's been a minute, yeah.
It's been a little bit. We were on that little Nazi kick there for a minute.
Don't we got that going.
Can't say that, right?
Don't say we've been on a Nazi kick. That's how you get canceled almost immediately.
We had the 2 Nazi episodes. Not that we like them; they're scumbags. But obviously, we made that clear. I think through the two fucking episodes that we don't actually like them. Next, coming up soon, we have guest appearances in the works, either on our show and other shows. As we get more details on them, I'll let you guys know in the coming episodes. We're also working on getting a flat earther on the episode to try to convince us that the Earth's flat, because, as you know, I'm a globetard. The Earth's not flat, right? Do you think the Earth's flat?
No.
No. I think the Earth's round. We talked about that in our first episode. But I've talked to several flat earthers. They said they would come on. I said we won't insult them. We'll just listen to that. They'll debate us. They'll try to give us facts. We'll debunk their facts and see if they come up with something that could stump us on how to actually answer it. So far, I had like a bunch of people reach out, and then as I talked to them, they like either back out or because they can't hold their flat Earth reasonings doesn't hold up under any type of scrutiny. So we'll try to get that going. I think we got some guy that's going to be willing to come on, so we'll have that episode out, and we also have to get together because we're going to be doing the Grumbling Grunts with. Space is gay and not real. That episode. Elliot would love to have a conversation with Josh about space.
I think it's real. I just think it's also very gay.
But Elliot thinks it's gay and fake.
Well.
And the thing is, a lot of these flat earthers also don't think it's real. But I don't think Elliot is a flat earther. But the flat earthers do not think space is real. They do not think gravity is real. Yeah, there's a lot of shit they don't think is real. So I have conversations with them a lot on on Facebook, actually. And they end up just trying to make fun of me instead of because they know they're losing. So we got those things coming up at some point in the near future.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to all of that. I definitely want to do another episode with the Grumbling Grunts because I missed the last one, and it was a good episode. So yeah,
we'll get them on. I was talking to Jay today. We'll figure out a time. Both our podcasts are growing. We've both been pretty busy. But we'll make time for them to get on. Either we're on their show or they're on our show. I guess this time maybe we'll go to theirs since we were on ours last. Or we'll figure it out. We're always going to be doing little crossovers with them. Great guys in England. Fun to listen to their show. If you haven't listened to their show yet or anything, go on over to the Grumbling Grunts before the English decide to shut their shows down because they're hypersensitive to saying bad things over there. You get arrested for it.
Yes, but
and as always, guys, please rate us here on Spotify. Follow us on X, Instagram, Facebook. Leave a comment, and if you have any suggestions that you want to hear, any stories, mysteries, theories, conspiracies, cryptids, even UFO stories or anything like that, just let us know. We'll do an episode. We'll look into it. We'll try to find the secret ingredients, and we'll get a show out for you guys.
Yeah, and the cryptid thing, I plan on doing each state. So, we've done New Jersey and Florida, West Virginia, so we're moving along.
Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania, which one's worse? Before we wrap this up. Pennsylvania cryptids with the squonk and the Outbat Witch, which is the trickster midget, or the Florida cryptids. I think the Florida cryptids are better, specifically because of the last one we just talked about. I think that one saved the whole Florida cryptid image.
I think so.
Even though he's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit, and then the other one actually throws shit, and then the other one smells like shit, and the other's an alligator. So, yeah, I don't know. I had more fun with the squonk, and I know they got the festival and all that, which we still need to go to. I would love to.
Yeah, we do. And the Vegetable Man in West Virginia. Should we retouch on the Jersey Devil? You think we should redo an episode with Jersey Devil? I
think we should, because people seem to like him a lot, and we may have some new listeners who don't know what we're talking about because they didn't go back to hear it. But I think we'll retouch on that at some point.
Yeah, our new listeners, if you haven't gone back, you can listen to that, or we'll do a new one. And our new listeners, if listened to the first time, you haven't followed us yet, because we do have a lot of engaged listeners, is what it's called, where a listener that listens to multiple episodes in the not following section. So, I mean, if you do like us, give us a follow with that. It helps us out. And you can even AI us, like I said before. AI search us. If this is your first episode you listen to and you want to see what else we're all about, and you don't want to go through the episodes first just to check it out, you want to get a quick overview, AI, who's the Conspiracy Kitchen podcast. It'll break down a lot of stuff and just tell you what we're all about.
Yes, and then it will lie about certain things. But yeah, so that's all I got on Florida. Anything more, they're going to think that I'm an asshole. They probably already do, but I mean, it's Florida.
It's Florida. We have listeners in Florida, so we're not trying to be, you probably think your own people are crazy down there anyway. So we love you too. Anyone who's following us,
they must be self-aware.
They must know. We love all our listeners. So we got Germany. We have a big increase in German listeners. I don't know if it had something to do with our recent episodes, but we did have a big increase in German listeners just recently. So again, we appreciate you guys and everyone else that listens. Obviously, everyone through the U.S., the UK is a big part of our listening fan base. Germany now, Canada, Turks and Caicos. Right? For some reason, we have a big listening following over there. So we appreciate all you guys. And I guess we'll come back with our next episode. Josh will tell us about how he's going to kill this slaughterer, crocodile, snake, torpedo-looking propeller tail, racist cryptid. He'll tell us how he's going to take care of it, and we'll get that to you with our next episode.
Yeah. So be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Yep, drink it up, and see you guys.
Bye.